Thank you all for coming in this round auditorium. It's pretty amazing. Your Excellency, thank you. If you had told me when I first came here 25 years ago that the world would be coming to an Arab monarchy on the Gulf, that 200,000 Brits would be living here, I never would have believed that. And so I'm fascinated by the question of why is everyone coming to Dubai? And since you've grown up here, without electricity, you told me the other day, and you've seen this transformation, why do you think this city has thrived in the way that it has?
I think there is so many different reasons. But as a nation, when you have people want to have a vision. They want to know where they're going. There is soft infrastructure in the country, and we have hard infrastructure. The soft infrastructure that brought people stability, opportunity. We live in a place which is, our city are among the safest in the world, number one, and number two, Abu Dhabi and Dubai. The cleanest place in the world, number one, I think we are rated as the cleanest city in the world. So for us, this is the right place to have family, to do business, and we have a huge market around us. When you look at the subcontinent, when you look at CI state, the whole of Middle East and Africa, you have a population of almost 3 billion people. And we sit in the middle of the world. Our airport is the largest airport in the world, as an international airport. We serve so many people, but the most important thing, we know where we're going. This country is a future country. Either country and city, they live in the past, or they move to the future, and business people who want to move to the future, they come to the United Arab Emirates.
So I'm from a country with guaranteed free speech. It's really the basis of our government. It's the First Amendment to our Bill of Rights, our founding document. And so I've always looked at monarchies, any kind of monarchy, including the British monarchy, no offense, as a place where people are not free to say what they think. And yet I have, having spent an awful lot of time here, always felt free to express my opinion. There is a spirit, I'm sure there are areas that are off limits. I haven't noticed them yet. You do get a feeling that people kind of say what they think here to a greater extent than they do in, say, Paris or London. What is that exactly, or am I imagining that?
No, I think Western, they have a perception of this region, and they have their own view when it comes to democracy. Yes, democracy is not about voting. Democracy is about open economy. Democracy is about human rights. Democracy about raising family. Democracy about really a business environment. So for us, we look at the holistic thing. Yes, we are a monarchy, and our monarchy been doing great thing. And I'll give you an example. You stated early on, we are a new nation. I saw when my country was born, 1971. But also, I was born in a time where we didn't have running water in the country, in the 60s. While we had the first person went to space, we have no water and this clean water and running water in this country. So for us, it's not about monarchy, it's about leadership. You had leaders that took this country from almost nowhere. When this country was started in 1971, we have only 45 university graduates. No university, barely no road, no hospital, and it was built based on vision, leadership, wisdom, good faith, a lot of sweat. And I look today, I say, while Russia was going to space and the United States was going to space in the 60s, we have no running water. Today, just last week, we signed an agreement with the EU, with the United States and Japan. We're gonna build the next international space station, the lunar one. So this is the story of this nation. I believe, yes, we live in the Middle East, but I believe that we have an advantage. An advantage that when you have wisdom, you live in a time where there is a lot of issue globally. Wisdom take you places. It doesn't matter who you are. The most important thing that the leadership of the United Arab Emirates, they know exactly where they want to go. It is very clear which direction they are taking the people.
How do you manage that much change in such a short period? How do you have an Islamic country with churches and synagogues and Hindu temples, and there doesn't seem to be a problem with that? How do you move so far so fast without blowing it up?
Twofold. One fold is people are very tolerant. And our job as a government also to educate, to teach, and to create the environment. Either there is an environment of hatred and racism, or there is an environment that coexistent. One fold that we did that is through education throughout the years. This is the only place, probably in the world, and bear in mind, we're in the Middle East, where the perception is there is ethnic issue, religious war, and so many different other issues. The biggest thing, and I think one of the most important things that we have done, is not about building city and airport and infrastructure. It's having people from different religion, different race, different country. They live in the heart of the Middle East in peace and harmony. How do we do that? Through education, through law and regulation. People are not allowed. We are not tolerant to anyone who really not tolerant to other people, to other nationality, to other religion. And we have a law for that. So we are very strict when it comes to hatred. And that's part of our value as a nation. That's part of our value as people.
One of the, I would say, biggest problems in the West, which has had massive migration, as you know, all the Western countries, is that newcomers to Western countries tend to bring conflicts from their homeland to those new countries. And it plays out in my country. In fact, it defines the politics of my country very often. You do not have that here, despite Emiratis being outnumbered 10-1 or something by foreigners. How do you keep that out?
I think the most important element here, you don't have unemployment. Anybody who come here, you have the best talent of the world coming here. And the most important thing for them is opportunity. There is an equal opportunity for people to thrive here. And if we look at number of companies that move, from here to other region or global, it's quite a lot. And a lot of it not from Emirati. A lot of it from talent. We live in a region that have a lot of talent. We have good people within our region. A lot of young people, they need opportunity. Our job as a government is to create the environment for people to excel. That's what we do as a government. As I told you, through law, regulation, security, it's very peaceful, through discipline, through being very organized as a nation, and we have the best talent. And I think what we are creating, this is a totally different environment when you talk about the United Arab Emirates. It's about going to the future. Our job as a government, we are not minister, we are designer. Either we design a good future or a bad future as a government. And not from now, from the old time. When the country was started, Sheikh Zayed, our leader, he was a designer. When the country was desert, without anything, he dreamt of this country. What we want to do, how it should be. The most important thing was, and the most important resources that we had human resources. It was, yes, limited. As I told you, 45 university graduates, and 5 of them were female only. Today, when you look at it, we invested in human resources. The highest enrollment when it comes to female, from high school to university, is in the United Arab Emirates. So it's about people. Our job is to unleash the potential of human being. Emirati and beautiful, great talent in this region. Either the talent in this region, they become extremists, or you embed them here and they flourish and you create star. Our job always I said, we are in the business of creating hope for our region. Our job is how do we build a model that fit us in this region. You look at, there's a lot of model within our region, from 50s, 60s, socialists, then you had the American invasion of Iraq, where the American tried to build a model for this region, and the model failed miserably. You had sectarian war, the hundreds of thousands of people die, refugees, $1 trillion that's spent on nothing. But again, there is a homegrown.
So not a success, you're saying?
Definitely not a success, Iraq. Absolutely. But there is a homegrown model. Homegrown model called the United Arab Emirates. It's a country that when we started that, there is no water, electricity, no road. And today, we are building the International Space Station. It's a drive. It is, you have to love your country. You need to work hard. It's not about just having a vision, but there is a lot of hard work.
Well, I think, to be fair, a lot of people love their countries and most people work hard. What bothers me about what's happened here, and of course the Iraq War was a disaster, and the people who did it should be punished, in my view. But as an American, a proud citizen of a republic, I'm really bothered by the fact that the 14 republics are not doing anywhere near as well as the 8 Arab monarchies. 6 of them are GCC countries, all doing great. Even the other 2 are pretty good, considering. But the republics are not doing great. Some exceptions, but in general, the monarchies are doing way better than the republics. And I hate that. Why do you? I do. I'm a citizen of a republic. I hated the Iraq War, but I kind of love the idea of, creating democracy and all that. Why didn't that work?
Sometimes the republic doesn't do well here in this region and other places. But I think through the 60s, the 50s, 60s, you had socialist regime that came on.
Yes.
It's about the system that came in. That happened during the Soviet era. You have regime that came and they moved the economy. Really, it was there. A lot of economy were flourishing in their country. And they took it to an extreme that you don't have a business class. There is no innovation. There is no art and culture. And what happened actually? Society dropped. And I think with monarchy, and we are proud and we are happy with it, and we can say, that the system that we have, it does fit us, it does fit our value, it does fit the country and the region. Thrive because it's a long term. It's about class. It's about open economy. It's opposite of the socialist system that we had in this region. And that's why it thrived. That's why you see countries are doing quite well. And certain countries, they don't have a lot of resources, but they are doing very well because it's a long-term plan. And talking about republic, even in other countries, actually, I think that the system that you have in the West, maybe it used to work in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Now you see the social issue. You see the crime rate. You see the mass shooting at school. You see the drug. You see homeless in the street, and a lot of, let me say about the United States, there is 770,000 homeless person in the street. Last year it grew by 18%. What's matter in the end of the day is human dignity. What government ought to do is to build a system that thrive in human dignity and taking good care of the society. Society and family is the core essence of any country.
I hate to agree with you, but I vehemently do.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you taking this time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.